things and people who do not necessarily adhere to all of the and also I
Well,
don't necessarily believe that Trump is necessarily racist. I just think he's an idiot. I don't think he's intentionally trying to do things that are racist. I don't think he
given
actually hates people that are minorities. I just think
given
that he's a moron and
given the
doesn't
guy's
he
history, yeah, he's racist.
you really think he's a racist?
Yes, he's actually gotten sued for racist shit.
Has he really?
Yeah, like there was a lawsuit. Let me see if I can bring this up because I don't want to be fucking Trumpian and be inaccurate.
And I'm not saying I'm not trying to support I'm not trying to defend or support him. I'm just saying this because I literally don't know. If he has been accused of or has been caught of legitimate racism, I haven't been aware of that.
Yeah,
Um but I mean I don't know, man. I don't support I don't support him, but I don't really support any politician at the moment. I don't support our politics. That's the problem,
no, like
really.
the
Is that
system.
I think our system is broken, which is why I don't play into the system because until you fix the system, why am I going to bother? And so I wasn't going to vote actually this year, and people were lots of people online like you got to vote, and not to me, but like lots of people saying like, oh, for those of you who don't, if you don't vote for Biden, basically you're part of the problem, and it's like I don't agree with that. I think the problem is that we're given a system that gives us two candidates that really nobody wants at the end of the day,
Yeah,
and that's and I'm not going to play along with that shit. That's like hey, we're going to play a game where we hook up your balls to a car battery. Like, no, thank you. I would like to not participate in that. That sounds like a lot of fun, I guess, maybe, but
yeah.
not
To
today.
some people, it's not my thing.
Exactly, exactly. If you want to go through that
Like
self torture,
like to be
then have at it.
to be fair, I'd probably watch that game show.
Electro
Yeah, like
balls.
Family Feud. Yeah,
Da-da-da.
just Family Feud. If somebody gets their balls hooked up to a fucking car battery or something like that, like I'd watch it.
Oh, dude. No, what you said last podcast that for the debate, if they do that interrupty shit again,
Yeah.
that they get shocked. Well, forget the collar. You just have it on their balls instead.
If they have any.
Well, true. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Like, well, never mind. Never mind. Accuse or making assumptions or accusations about the candidates that we have. But like, what if Hillary were up there? That wouldn't work.
Right.
And
So
no, that's just horrible. You can't put that on TV.
right, but so this is from an article from NPR from let's see when was this printed? This was 2016. So this is around like the first like presidential debate and whatnot with Hillary Clinton. So the article says during the presidential debate on Monday night, Hillary Clinton raised a 1973 federal lawsuit brought against Donald Trump and his company for alleged racial discrimination at Trump housing projects in New York.
Hmm.
Let's see. The Justice Department sued Donald Trump, his father Fred, and Trump management in order to obtain a settlement in which Trump and his father would promise not to discriminate. The case was eventually settled 2 years later after Trump tried to countersue the Justice Department for $100 million for making false statements. Those allegations were dismissed by the court. So Trump lost, and him and his father had to pay a lot of money. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, where is this? Okay, so back then, Sheila Morse worked for one of these testers. Okay, so the lawsuit was based on evidence gathered by testers for the New York City Human Rights Division, which alleged that black people who went to Trump buildings were told there were no apartments available while white people were offered units. Back then, Sheila
Wow.
Morse was one of those testers. When a black New Yorker was turned down for service and racial bias was suspected, Morse, who was white, would be dispatched to see if she would receive different treatment. In this case, a black man in search of an apartment in Brooklyn in 1972 saw a sign on the building "apartment for rent."
Hmm.
So there was that. There was the Central Park Five incident.
I'm not familiar with that either, but man, okay.
So Central Park Five, if I remember correctly, it was a group of five guys. They were arrested and prosecuted based on I think it was like rape and murder or something like that, if I remember right. So they were in jail for I don't remember how long they were in jail for, but DNA evidence cleared all five of them.
Hmm.
So while they're being released, Donald Trump takes out a full page ad, and I think it was like the New York Times or like one of the New York papers, basically calling for the death penalty to like have them killed because he's like they're
Damn.
guilty. I know they're guilty.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There was an incident where there was a like he was trying to get a casino built, and he's like, "Will you take a look at these Indian casinos? Some of these people they don't look like Indians to me."
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like, well, what the fuck do you want him to do? You want them to put on a fucking headdress and the war paint and whatnot? Like, fuck you.
Seriously.
So yes, he is racist.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
What about Biden? How's Biden's track history with racism?
Uh,
Probably equally as tarnished, I would
you remember
imagine.
that water slide comparison I made last week?
Yes.
Pretty
Time to
much.
put on the shorts, is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah. That's what I mean, man. Like, so you can talk shit about one of them all day, and that's really my point. Is like I can talk shit about Trump all day, but you could just as well do it about Biden or really anybody. Really, like the problem is we don't have a really stand-up candidate, and we haven't in a really long time. And unfortunately, we live in a time right now where we really need like an exceptional president. Like we need someone, like epic to run this country now more than ever. And the problem is that the people who are currently in a position to take that role don't necessarily fit that epic bill, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions. So it's like
Yeah.
it
Like
doesn't give me a lot of hope, man.
here's my big gripe too. Is you think back a couple of months ago, when like the Democrats were having their like debates and whatnot, and they were like they had to do it in 2 nights because there were like 15, 20 fucking people that were just like, well, I hate Donald Trump, I'm running.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, but yeah, like I think it was God, it was Cory Booker challenged him on his record about race. And then you fast forward to a couple months later, like after he dropped out of the race, he's like, you know what? Joe Biden would make a great president. It's like, what the fuck? Like, where did this come from?
Yeah,
Ugh,
crazy, man.
I just, I mean, that's kind of like Trump supporting in a sense of like, well, yeah, he's racist, but he would make a great president. Like this guy,
Yeah.
this guy.
Did you just hear what you said about like? Well, he might be racist, but he's still a great president. Like,
Yeah,
no. How did
yeah. I mean,
does not equate?
well, there was video coming out of Joe Biden at a funeral for a state senator. I forget where. Let me see if I can find this. But he's giving a eulogy over a guy that was a like a member of the KKK.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's from Newsweek. Senator Robert Byrd. This is at the senator's funeral in 2005.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like, just the whole thing is fucking disgusting.
It really is. It really is. Well, that's what I mean. Is like we have two candidates who really, in my opinion, don't deserve to be up there. But I
Like,
mean, like, look, has Bernie Sanders ever been racist? I know Hillary Clinton has. Or I'm sure it's. I don't know. That's the problem. Is that the people and the system keeps creating the kind of people and putting the kind of people in power that's exactly the opposite of what we need. And right now, more than ever, we need the exact opposite of what we've had. And I don't know. Maybe the pandemic is what it's going to take to really change shit up. I don't know, but it's not looking good.
yeah, I mean,
I'm really afraid that Trump gets reelected. That's my fear. I mean, honestly, I don't know if Biden getting in will help, and that's really, like I said, that's really the crux of my whole issue with this. Um, but I really don't think that that Trump should still be president. That's for sure.
no. And like here's the thing too. Like he said something that fucked him royally from
Who's he? Pronouns,
Trump.
pal. Goddamn.
God, orange titties.
Orange titties.
But yeah, something that fucked Trump before he was even president. Like while he was running, he was saying the system is broken and I alone can fix it.
Mm,
You've broken it, sir. Like even
yeah.
more than it was.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry. Like you know when Obama and Biden left office, and this has been proven, so I don't want people. Oh no, that's fake news, fake news, fakey. Fuck your ass. they had a pandemic response team. They had, I think it was like 48 offices like set up around the fucking world. One of them actually in Wuhan, where they're saying, "Hey, coronavirus started here."
Mm-hmm.
They left that, and they also left the Trump team a playbook. Say, like, look, in the event of a pandemic, here's what you can do to help. Like, this is what you can do to minimize it and make sure that, if anybody dies, it's going to be in the low numbers.
Which honestly kind of begs the question, why did they have that? Like, was that just sort of a standard protocol thing, or did they see something coming down the pike that someone else didn't see?
Well, that's
That
the thing.
begs
Like,
that question.
and there's video of Obama explaining that, he's saying, 5-10 years there could be something. I believe this is around the time of like H1N1 or something like that, when like I think it was like 14,000 people died from that.
Oh yeah, the swine flu.
Yeah, so they financed and set up, all these offices around the world and whatnot to say, as soon as we see something like this, we can isolate it, contain it, and minimize its risks.
Mm-hmm.
Trump got rid of 38 of those offices. One of them being in Wuhan, oddly enough.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they kept saying, they didn't leave us a playbook. They didn't leave us a playbook. Even Mitch McConnell, there's no playbook. There's no playbook. It's like, well, actually, yes, there is. And here's actually a copy of it that was given to the Trump transition team. I misspoke.
Turkey jaw.
Yeah.
Good old turkey jaw. Dude, he's the turkeys from South Park.
No, that's an insult to the turkeys. He actually looks like a character from what was it? Was it Hellboy 2, I think?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you've seen that movie, right?
Oh, yeah, of course I have.
Yeah, it's just like,
but I don't remember.
So the specific scene is like the Prince Naruto goes to the kingdom, and he has to hand over his sword, and the guys tell him like, everyone must turn in their swords, prince and pauper, like that guy. Like, you could switch McConnell's voice out with that guy. Holy shit, it's not gonna. Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember now. Yes.
A prince and pauper alike. Shout out to Doug Jones, man. Doug Jones is awesome.
Was that Doug Jones who did that?
That was.
Because I know he did Abe Sapien, but oh man.
Yes, he did Abe Sapien. He did that character, and he was also the winged like death character.
Oh shit, cool.
Give him a reason to return. Like, that was him too. It was like, dude, you're a fucking badass.
Yeah, he is. He was awesome in Pan's Labyrinth too, man. I saw that kind of recently because I kind of slept on that movie for a long time, but then I checked it out. Like, I want to say, like Liz and I, we popped it in like a year or two ago.
Yeah, this is actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
He was also he was actually also a Marvel character.
Was he?
He was. He was the Silver Surfer in the second Fantastic Four movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
A lot of people did. Don't be insulted. Everybody forgot about it. Because they're like, oh, Galactus is coming. Galactus is coming. And I'm sitting in the movie theater watching it with a buddy of mine. I'm just going like, this is going to be badass, man. They can bring fucking Galactus in. This is going to be badass. Galactus wasn't the giant robotic character that we know from the comics.
I never saw it. I never saw what Galactus ended up being.
Galactus just ended up being a gigantic fart cloud. That's it.
Really?
Yes.
That's horrible.
That is horrible. And it's because the director said, I'm not making a movie with a giant fucking robot in it.
Wow. Gotta love Hollywood.
Yep. Like, all right, well, what's the main villain going to be then? Well, it's going to be a big fart cloud.
Don't mind me. I just realized that if I position myself appropriately in this window, the little dangly thing at the top makes me look like I have the Superman curl. So, actually, you have it too on yours. We can both be Superman, sir. Sorry, I get distracted easily.
Yes, you do. Ooh, shiny.
I'm like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah. Young James Woods is like, ooh, piece of candy.
Exactly, yeah. Ooh, piece of candy. Piece of candy.
Oh, man.